Hello, everybody. It's another episode. That's Let's Talk Good. Sad Broncos. I'm hosting today, so we don't know what's going on, but we're back for another episode. We got Will. We got Zach. How are you guys doing today? Will, let us know. How are you doing?
I'm well. We've got a game in approximately 25 hours from now. A lot to break down. Been watching a lot of college quarterbacks this weekend. I think I might just devote my Saturdays to UNC and USC. How are you guys doing?
Zach, let us know.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I feel beat up. I feel like the Broncos secondary, down some critical pieces here for this show. But hopefully we don't get 70 scored on us.
Yeah, I agree with Will, man. I'm all on board. I might as well be a USC fan at this point. I might as well be a Trojan. Like, seriously, I'm looking for the Broncos to draft one of these quarterbacks, man. And that's kind of what I want to get into first. Before we get into bold predictions, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little game preview. I want to know your guys' opinion. James Palmer had a report come out today. Or it wasn't today, it was the other day. But he said, the sense that I get from the players in that locker room is that a potential teardown is coming. Will, I want to know your opinion. Do you think that's good or bad? Do you think the Broncos should tear it down?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely they should tear it down. I know Zach might scream at me if I said anything otherwise. You guys are the biggest proponents of the rebuild. I was a little like Elway for a while, where that was kind of a dirty word for me. But if you don't rebuild, you're just in purgatory or possibly worse. This is football hell right now. So we're gonna try to make our way out of it one step at a time. As far as the players, I don't really care if they know if they feel like it's a teardown or not. Wouldn't you, like, aside from like uprooting your family, potentially, if you have a family or, going through the hassle of moving, wouldn't you want to be on a different team right now? Like, I'd probably be excited if I was someone like Justin Simmons, who's been here since 2016 and has never played in a playoff game. And, potentially, depending on if they move him and where he goes, like, you might be able to experience that for the first time in your life. That'd be a pretty cool thing, honestly.
Dude, Garrett Bowles was almost crying in the locker room. All I've done is lost. Like, let this man go somewhere else. Like, I'm sure they would be supportive of it. I mean, I don't know. I haven't had it. Bring out the tanks. And I'm tired of the people, too, that act like we're not going to end up with the first or second pick. Or
get
like
out of
we have
here.
no shot. Yeah, I mean, what games are you guys watching out there? I don't know. We don't have the secret weapon in Vance Joseph or something like that. It's crazy. But Zach, let us know what your opinion is on that. We'll set you up good.
Yeah, no, I think it's good that they burn it down. I think they have to. The problem the Broncos have had, really, I think, since 2016 is they've been trying to build on the skeleton of 2015 ever since. It's a point I've made many times on Let's Talk Broncos, but man, like it made sense in 2016. Hey, we had this awesome roster, pretty poor quarterback play, and we won a Super Bowl. Let's see if we can do that again. And it was decent, right? They went like 9-7. What didn't quite work, but it's just been diminishing turns every year after that. And it wasn't until 2022. This is the first year they're not a defense first team. They've been building off that. And the only reason that's the case is because the defense has totally crumbled into nothingness. Worst defense in NFL history through 5 weeks per DVOA, despite having their best defensive performance. The gap between the Broncos and the 31st best defense right now is the same, which is the Chicago Bears, another very bad team, is the same as the gap between the Chicago Bears and the 20th ranked defense in the league. They are like miles worse than any other defense in football. And it's because they're like a clone degenerating, in a sci-fi movie where it's just like every version gets a little worse, a little more degenerated. We're on like version 8 now, and it's got like a 7th arm coming out of like the base of its skull. It's an absolute mess. It's an atrocity. Burn it down. burn it with fire, get something new. The Broncos are in the worst possible place to be as a franchise. Top of the league in terms of cash spending. Their cash spent this offseason.
Do you think they are in the league? Are they in the worst place though? I think so. If you had to pick a year to bottom out, I think a draft where even if you don't get the first pick and you end up at second and you can get Drake May, like you can, there are years where, you know, you're the worst team in the league and the consolation prize is Eric Fisher.
Aiden Hutchinson
somehow worked out for the Chiefs. But I think that was because they hired Andy Reid. But if you're going to suck, like you want to suck in a year where you've got Andrew Luck or Trevor Lawrence or, you know, potentially one of these two guys.
So that I agree with, definitely. That aspect of it is good. I guess more generally, I think the Broncos are in the worst place you can be in the league because there's a lot of teams right now not spending money and their expectation is to be bad. We're building something. We don't have to do a big free agency spending spree because that's not where we're at right now in our timeline. Like Houston, or they might have spent some money this offseason, but some teams like Detroit just started spending money this offseason. But before then, you know, they weren't making big free agency signings. That's not where they were in their timeline. Then you've got teams spending a lot of money and trying to win games, you know, like your Buffaloes and your KCs and whatnot. And then you've got the Broncos who are spending a lot of money and losing a lot of games. And that incongruity you can't do. It speaks to how broken this roster is.
Counterpoint there. Are we better off without free agency money? Because we don't use it well.
Probably.
Should we not have any money
Give
to
it up,
spend?
Zach. You can't complain about all the free agents and then wish you have free agency money.
Well, give it to someone other than George Payton. Hopefully he's fired in January. Right. Let's see what the next guy can do with that money. Or spend it on whatever. Have it for trades. If we don't, we don't like how the trades have gone either. Save it for draft picks or re-upping the draft picks after they do well. I don't know. It would be nice to have some roster flexibility. And right now they have none, in part because after last season, the Broncos could have had a clean break where they went, whoa, that was bad. Let's get rid of this all right now. And they kind of opted not to do that by investing all this money in a free agent class that looks pretty shaky right now.
Yeah, it does look shaky. It definitely looks shaky. I think Zach Allen has started to look better, though, these last couple of weeks. It's not saying much because the defense is still terrible. But, hey, I'm happy Zach Allen looks okay. I'm happy Justin Simmons is back, although he is one of those guys that I think when you're talking about tear down, that's one of the guys. That is one of the guys. And he's been a player on this Broncos team forever. But to Will's point, I'm sure he wants to go play for a different team. Anyways, guys, I kind of want to segue us into the Kansas City game. Kansas City. And I don't even know why we're previewing this. It's kind of depressing a little bit. But give me, before we get into bold predictions, give me your general thoughts, Will, on this game. Like, just let me know. Let me know how I should feel entering this.
My general thoughts are, if it wasn't my job, I don't think I would spend 3 hours watching this game.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't. This is an interesting game because I think you'll get Taylor Swift somewhere in the stadium. And I was looking it up, and NBC cut to Taylor Swift 17 times when they played the Jets. Amazon is obviously a subscription service. So they're trying to, get the Swifties in to sign up for that free trial. I think we get 25 or more Taylor Swift cutaways during this game. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think that would probably be more entertaining.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Al Michaels is going to fall asleep on air.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get a concert going. Matter of fact, while we're at it, let's make it the Taylor Swift show. I totally agree. Zach, give me your general thoughts, man.
I'm happy with that. Limit how much pain we're exposed to. I did the muted thing again. I don't know. It's hard to talk yourself into how they can win this one. I really don't know. I think I'd start with the Chiefs defense. I think is a little overrated. I think it's pretty overrated. Now it's probably still right there with the Jets as the best defense the Broncos have played all season. And you look at how The Broncos offensive line responded to the Jets pressure packages, and going up against Spagnuolo is probably a really terrifying prospect for this offensive line. I don't know. I do think it's worth mentioning that I think this Kansas City offense might be a little, or defense rather, might be a little overrated. They shut down a Bears offense that everyone other than the Bears and the Broncos and Commanders these past 2 weeks have shut down. They gave Zach Wilson the best game of his career. Minnesota's offense just had good success against them. And then Jacksonville only put up 9 points, but that was because they went out of bounds on several touchdown catches in the end zone. I think they had that one really good defensive performance against a good offense in the season kickoff game, a game everyone's watching because we're so excited for football to be back. And the Chiefs offense is kind of shutting down Chiefs defense is shutting down a Lions offense that was at the top of the league last year. This defense is going to be really good. And people haven't been watching them since because it's been uninteresting games for KC. I think it's overrated. I don't think outside of that Zach Wilson game, and we saw Zach Wilson tear him up. I think the defense is greatly overrated. It's a good defense, but the Broncos might be able to hang in a bit of a shootout. Would be my argument for optimism.
Okay, well, I'm happy you brought the optimism, Zach, because I don't know if you, to Will's point, if you're a Swiftie, right, and you're tuning into this game, this might be your last football game, I think. I don't even know.
Game was 41-10 Bears.
What was that?
Their first football game was the 41-10 blowout of the Bears. I don't know if an unsavory
find a way to do it in a depressing fashion is the issue. It's not like one of those high flying. It's not one of those. It's like, what's going on with the other team? I can see it now going on from the Swifties right now. What's happening?
Here, I fully disagree with your take. I think now Travis Kelce might not play, and I think that's going to be a big loss for the Swifties. But if he does play, oh my God, this is the Swifties' best dream. You've got Travis Kelce going up against the worst defense in NFL history. He's going to have 7 touchdowns. It's going to be, man, they're going to be on cloud 9.
Well, let's be honest. So he's going to play.
He is going to play, but if I'm the Broncos, I'm doing everything. I'll lose by 70 just to shut down Travis Kelce for this game.
I agree. I think you get Patrick Surtain and Justin Simmons and do that old Belichick thing in the red zone with Tony Gonzalez, where you just bracket the tight end every play. If Sky Moore or Rashee Rice or Justin Watson are going to beat you, you just have to live with that. Just take it.
I totally agree. I think that's it. You just have to shut down Travis Kelce. If the Broncos shut down Travis Kelce this week, that is a win in my book.
I agree.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for. Let's move on to the actual main course of the show.
One second.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Zach.
I do think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Kansas City. The passing game is really struggling right now. Patrick Mahomes having the worst year of his career so far. The weapons are not working out. The Sky Moore experiment's a disaster. MVS is not it. Travis Kelce, even while healthy, has not been his normal self. This offense has taken a big step back, except for in the run game. This rushing attack, I think, is the best it's been in Kansas City under Andy Reid, except for maybe like some early Jamal Charles years. This is bad. I don't know. You just saw what Breece Hall did to this offense. Andy Reid is so much better than Nathaniel Hackett. It's not even funny. I'm terrified about that aspect. If you have Isaiah Pacheco in any fantasy league, start him. I think Pacheco is going to go crazy on Thursday.
I like that you brought up fantasy because I've got an ad read for you guys. Perfect segue.
Tell me about it, Will.
Thank you. I'm going to nail this. Today's episode is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy, and this week they're matching your first deposit up to $500. It's a lot of money, which is an exclusive offer for new customers. All you have to do is sign up at Underdog with my link below or code Let's Ride. Make your first deposit. Let's take a look at Brandon's pick'ems for the Broncos-Chiefs game and see if he's going to win his first pick'em of the season. So he's got Isaiah Pacheco. He's got higher than 13.75 fantasy points. I would say that is a safe bet considering the Broncos have the worst run defense of all time. Travis Kelce, lower than 15.15 fantasy points. Not good news for the Swifties. Jerry Jeudy, higher than 9.45. That'll be good for his trade value. Patrick Mahomes, higher than 23.65. I think that's a safe bet pretty much any game. And then Russ, lower than 16.65 fantasy points. So Mahomes outduels Wilson once again.
Can I give an observation real quick? I think the higher on Jerry Jeudy is a good bet. That's one I would take. Who remembers the Albert O preseason game where he just looked amazing?
Yes.
And then the Broncos ended up dealing him. Jerry Jeudy, if they're doing the teardown, feed that man the ball. I want a second round pick. Feed him. I feel that coming.
I will say I think this is the best secondary the Broncos have played so far this season. McDuffie's out of his mind, and Broncos fans are familiar with how good Snead is. I don't
Snead's
worry about that.
Really good, aside from committing DPI. Just once again, the code is Let's Ride, Underdog Fantasy.
Let's ride.
All one word. Play higher, lower.
Yep, higher, lower. No other words. No synonyms.
Or lower.
It's either higher or it's lower. That's the only way to describe it.
Well, let's play another game, and I want to play a game of bold predictions with you guys. This is something we do on Let's Talk Broncos all the time. Will, you can either just beat all of us today since Brandon hopped out. I mean, you could shoot 100% on the year, quite possibly. Get this right.
Yeah.
I want to know your bold prediction for the Kansas City Chiefs Broncos game.
Okay. Well, I guess it depends on how bold you get, because I could play it pretty safe. And
but I could decide not to take it. That's something.
So here's how the bold predictions game works, because I don't know if you were on with us before the season when we played this game. So quick rundown. We'll each throw out, and also for any new listeners, we'll throw out a bold prediction. The other two people will have a chance to either take that bold prediction or fade it. Kind of bet against it, or just kind of abstain. Do you want to that way, you're pushed to make a prediction bold enough that someone's going to fade you on it. You have the potential to get some points, but you don't go into crazy NFL Network hot take land where you're saying stuff you don't even believe, because then you might lose points. And at the end of the season, we're having a nasty punishment for the last place LTD member. No reward for first place, but there will be a nasty punishment.
We went full YouTube. We bought a wheel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got a wheel, fortune wheel. It's all produced out.
Now I'm nervous. I've got one, though. I'm going to say 3 picks for Russell Wilson.
Whoo! Okay.
Whoa.
3 INTs. Give me your reasoning there, Will.
I think after last week, with just how much the offense stagnated in the second half, he's going to try to do too much. I think he's going to put this whole losing streak on his shoulders and try to keep up with Mahomes and the Chiefs offense. And I think he's going to let it fly, and someone's going to just jump in front of a couple balls. He's going to force a few. It's kind of out of character for him, because he has been really safe with the ball this year, with the exception of fumbling to end the game. That was kind of a bad one. But yeah, I just think he's going to try to play hero ball a little bit, and it's going to come back to bite him.
I could definitely see that. I could definitely see the reasoning there. Like, if the Broncos fall behind early, what has been the Broncos' biggest issue, and a lot of people's criticism with Sean Payton to this point, is that why are you guys not running the ball? You guys have done it effectively the entire year, yet you guys continue the pass. I think a lot of that has to do with the Broncos falling behind and then them trying to catch up when you have a terrible defense. That's just kind of what you have to do. And this is one of those games where it could get out of hand early when you're talking about one of the worst defenses ever. I definitely could see this happening. 3 interceptions, just trying to keep up. I will take you up on this, though, Will, just because, and here's my reasoning. I think that Russell Wilson's playing the best ball. He's playing a lot better ball than he did last year. If this was last year, I would say yes. I'm betting on him throwing in 3 interceptions. He is playing better football this year. I hope the Broncos go out there with the mindset of, hey, we might fall behind 2 touchdowns. Let's run the ball though, just so we don't get beat by 70 again. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Run the ball a little bit, Broncos. It's been working the whole year. Try to play yourself back in the game that way. I hope they don't pass the ball, and I'm kind of leaning with my emotions there. So
But you also want Jerry Jeudy to have like 15 catches.
I do want Jerry Jeudy. Yeah, you're right. I'm kind of
maybe all 15 passes go to Jerry Jeudy.
I can.
Well, what's the bold prediction on Jerry Jeudy at this point? Like 40 yards?
I can
like probably.
Yeah.
I think this is a great prediction. I'm gonna definitely bet against it because it's 3 predictions and that's hard to do. So 3 interceptions and that's hard to do. So I'll fade it, but I could see it. Spagnuolo is so good at cooking up the pressure. I could see a rust regression game here. You have less time to prepare as an offense for, again, like I think they're not as good as they have been hyped up to be, but I think they're still like, they're the 10th, 11th best defense in the league or so. And they're coached up well. They've got some corners that cover really well. They've got some athletic linebackers. I really like that prediction, even though I'm fading it. Yeah, that's a tough one.
All right, so we both took your bet there. Well, I think it's a good one though. That one's actually intriguing. I could definitely see that happening. Zach, give me yours.
All right. I was hyping up Isaiah Pacheco, saying start him in the league. We talked about how Brandon's got the higher. He's got the higher in the higher lower
Good
game. Yeah, he's got the higher. I think that's going to hit no problem because I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to have the best running back performance of the Andy Reid era. You have to go all the way back to Kareem Hunt, which was a Chiefs in 2017, against the Chargers. Kareem Hunt had 183 all-purpose yards and a touchdown, good for 24.3 fantasy points. One of those is reception, 25.3 fantasy points in PPR. I think Isaiah Pacheco tops that.
You think Pacheco tops that? That's a lot, Zach. That one. Like Will made a really good one. That's kind of like realistic. I had to think about it. The Broncos defense is really bad.
I'm not gonna say it's not realistic. We've left.
They are allowing 175 rushing yards per game. In theory, if they give an average performance and every Chiefs carry goes to Pacheco, he would hit it.
Yeah, but you're talking about the same coach that let Dontari Poe throw a touchdown against us. That's who you're talking about.
This is the worst Christmas of my life.
Yeah, that was terrible. Andy Reid's gonna want to. Like, here's the thing that scares me about this game, guys, and why I'm not going to take you up on this, Zach. I think the Chiefs could be up by 30. Andy Reid's going to have Mahomes throwing 4 verts in the fourth quarter. He's not going to unpull the plug. The Chiefs are going to be going full force. I don't think the run game is really how they're going to do it. Now, if you told me Mahomes was going to go for 400 yards, I would say I would probably be like, yeah, you know what? I could definitely see that happening. I don't think Pacheco's getting 180 yards. Andy Reid is also that same guy. We're going to see 3 different running backs tomorrow. We will. And I don't think Pacheco's getting that.
Who's their other one? Jerick McKinnon?
Jerick McKinnon, yeah.
Okay. He's bound to score 3 touchdowns against us like every year.
And that's the thing. So here's the ticket. This is why I specified like overall performance, not the most yards or whatever. And I'm using fantasy stats, 25.3 fantasy points, which again, running back in the Andy Reid era, which has been lengthy, has produced more in Kansas City. I think it finally happens. I think maybe it's 2 touchdowns. Maybe he has some more receptions and he finishes with like 150 all-purpose yards, but he has the 2 touchdowns. That's what I'm saying for Pacheco, 25.4 fantasy points.
I will have to fade you on that one. Just because of how I mapped out this game in my head, and it kind of relates to another bold prediction I have. How many do we make? 1, 2?
Typically just 1, and then we'll do score predictions.
Okay. Oh, well, yeah. I'll just, if we were going to do another one, I had one where the Chiefs rush for under 100 yards. just to get really crazy.
Okay.
So
I like
to keep that to stick with that theme, I would have to, I think, bet against an all-time fantasy performance for Isaiah Pacheco. I just think like there's a chance that they just put like 10 guys in the box and say, like, we're not going to get gashed in the run game again. I'm hyperbolizing, but I think they're going to do everything they can to like fix their alignments and whatever's gone wrong, which is a whole number of things. And they're going to make the Chiefs try to throw it to, Sky Moore and Justin Watson and Dwayne Bowe and whoever they have out there, basically.
And it'll work. It'll just be
it will work. Yeah, it will work.
It'll work, but it'll be a better way of losing. I think the strategy there is sound. Mine, guys, is I was looking more at the positive side of things. I was thinking about
it's good.
What Broncos could I shine in a positive light? Very few options. Very, very, very few options out there. One, I thought of Jaleel McLaughlin. And then I was like, I don't know. That's not – I kind of want to go with Nick Bonito because I can play it in with the idea that the Kansas City Chiefs will be running the score up. I think he's going to have 2 sacks. And I think the reason is because the Chiefs are going to be throwing the ball a lot. Nick Bonito has a ton of sacks on the year. He's playing really, really good. He's one of the guys I want to shine light on. So I'm going Nick Bonito, 2 sacks or more.
I'm fading this one so hard. Patrick Mahomes has decided to never get sacked once this year, it seems. It's seemingly been a big focus of his game. He is throwing the ball away at a much higher rate. He, to my knowledge, has yet to take sack this season. He's got 4 total on the season. Is coming off his worst game though. First game where he was sacked multiple times. He's scrambling a lot more, doing a better job of using his feet as well to help minimize the sacks. Broncos have the lowest rate of pressures and the lowest total number of pressures in the league. I am hammering this one, Joey. Thank you for the free points.
Well, what do you think?
I'm tempted to I would have to fade this as well. Okay. I think I would love to see Bonito. There's an outside chance if he had a really big game, he could lead the NFL in sacks by the end of Thursday. And the Chiefs tackles, they're like nothing to write home about. I think the strength of the Chiefs, not their offense necessarily, because that's Mahomes, but their offensive line is just the 3 guys in the middle. And now I'm kind of going back and forth on it because Benito's been so good, especially in the first half. But I think that's like really the one guy you have to worry about on the Broncos' edge. And I think Andy Reid's smarter than to not chip him or do something.
And the other part about this is Frank Clark is out as well.
Yes.
The Broncos just traded Randy Gregory. Frank Clark is out. Baron Browning still isn't playing.
He's out with an illness.
Yeah, it's an illness. An illness he's out with. So I'm thinking that it's going to be a lot of snaps for Nick Bonito. Now, Zach, I think that does help your running back prediction there, maybe a little bit. But
wow, Bonito slander.
One thing that I know is that Andy Reid's going to throw the football a lot, and Nick Bonito is going to get a lot of pass rush reps. I'm going 2 sacks, man. I'm happy with it.
I think he gets 1.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely get 1.
If he gets to this game, if he gets to this game, I would be so ecstatic. I think Mahomes has quickly become one of the hardest quarterbacks to sack in the league, and just because he pulls out, like even when you have him dead to rights, how many times have Broncos fans seen this in a primetime game where you seemingly have Mahomes dead to rights and he pulls some nonsense out and Chris Collinsworth is gushing about it for the next 10 minutes. I mean,
thank God
and they're showing the 17 replays. Like I don't know. I've seen him do that to Von Miller. I think he's going to do it to Nick Bonito. No problem.
The arm angles. We'll see every angle. We get it from the pylon. We'll get it. We'll get it from the sky cam. We'll get it from every angle imaginable. Please. Oh my gosh, I can't.
How many times, higher, lower? How many times do you think they replay the left-handed pass from 2018?
We're seeing that
pull it out.
commercial. Aflac will probably have a commercial about it or something.
Yeah.
I'll say 3. I think we get it's 2 or 3. I think I would set the line at 2.5.
They love to show it. There's never. It's like become weirdly the most iconic play of like the last 5 years somehow. It's like, okay, yeah, he threw with his left hand. Future Broncos quarterback Drake May just did that a few weeks ago for a touchdown, by the way.
You know what? And when he does it in orange and blue, show it 17 times. Show it 20 times.
Sure,
Man, get it, please.
Tua throws a touchdown with his left hand every week.
Yeah, right.
That's a great point.
If that was Mahomes, man.
It's not that special.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm pushing up on the over, pretty much over any number I think you guys would push. They're going to show that in the commercials at the start of the game. We're going to get the NFL theme music going on, and Mahomes is going to be it's going to be the entire game.
Yeah.
I'm going like 10. I think we're going to see that pass.
More left-handed passes or Taylor Swift cutaways. That's the real question.
That's actually the one right there.
Yeah,
that's for another episode. We'll keep track of that. let's get score predictions though, guys. I want to get your guys' score predictions. Zach, we'll start off with you. How bad are the Broncos winning?
They're losing. They're losing bad. I think the streak continues. Unfortunately, I think maybe they're nowhere near as good a team. I want to be clear. I just think they were really close to pulling the upset with last year's team, which was just as bad with I think both both games, they were pretty close. And when one of those was Hackett, one of those was Rosberg. So I don't know. I'm definitely not going to be betting on it, but I think maybe there's a chance they could pull the upset. The last time I had that kind of optimism of, maybe people are getting too low on the Broncos this week, was right before week 3. So I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to beat the Broncos like a drum, 51-22.
51-22. Okay, write that down.
That'd be a scoregami.
Yeah. Well, what do you have?
Okay, I think weird things happen in AFC West games. Really, any divisional matchup, things never go quite how you expect them to. I think the Broncos hang around a little bit in the first half, and then we get a little pick party from Russell Wilson, like I boldly predicted. But I think the Chiefs win 31-20.
31-20. I think that's a good one.
That's the line is 10.5, by the way. So
yeah,
there you go. Yours is right around where I kind of have mine. I have a hard time thinking that the Broncos defense is going to come stopping the Chiefs at all. And if they do, fire Vance Joseph immediately, because we're trying to get the first pick. So definitely, I think they're going to score. I got it going 34-21. I think the Chiefs are going to really score the ball. I'm going to play it more modest. I don't know. I just feel like I have to put real NFL scores out there, even though the Broncos haven't been doing that. It feels weird saying 50 points. So I'm not going to do that. 34-21 is mine. Although, Zach, I would not be shocked if yours was the close, if I'll be honest.
No, there's definitely
I think it could be ugly
possibility of 60, right? If the Chiefs are clicking on most cylinders, they could very easily,
And I don't think they have we got to run up the score on the Broncos because we hate the Broncos so much. I think the Broncos are a joke to them.
I think
CSU, we're gonna get them their little brother. But I do think Kansas City's motivated to run up the score just to like figure out an offensive rhythm. They really haven't had one all season. You're now getting to play the worst defense in football history in Arrowhead. Like that is a runway to like get your that's a get right game if I've ever seen one. So I think they'll lean into that.
There you go. Well, guys, do you guys have any final thoughts before we head out here?
Don't watch the game. I mean, like, go outside, look at this. Like, dude, I have to do it for my job. Joey, we have to do it for our jobs to be like responsible. You guys have a choice in this matter, and I would recommend not watching. I mean, keep an eye on like a computer or something. You know, maybe if you see the box score entertaining after a half, but just watch a movie you've been meaning to watch for a long time.
Yeah,
that's what I'd say.
Yeah, I think if you have a family. And you have the opportunity to spend a Thursday night with your family or, you know, watch Broncos Chiefs. If you choose to watch Broncos Chiefs, you're probably headed for a divorce.
Yes.
Like immediately. So, like I said, unless it's your job, steer clear of this one, but definitely watch the recap.
That's what I was going to say.
Watch your guys' recap.
Yeah.
Watch the new worst game that we put up inevitably because we're not going to win. That's how you should consume this product.
Cool. Well,
we're the hazmat suit. We're the hazmat suit. You know, like give you a barrier between us or between you and the awfulness.
Yeah. Come to Let's Talk Broncos and we'll show you the highlights.
Yeah.
That's what we'll do. Anyways, Will, let us know, what time do you guys usually go live after the game so that people can check that out?
Man, I wish we were better at scheduling. We'll probably be live within an hour of this game ending, so it's a night game. So yeah, if you guys want to tune in for that, or we'll have the recap up on Friday. That's kind of become like our flagship video of the week, so check that out. And we'd be very grateful.
Cool. Hey, we'll definitely go check that out. And guys, please go. Zach and I are going to be heading over the 850 KOA for a radio spot right after this. So if you guys want to go over there and listen to us talk more Broncos, you can do that. Otherwise, just make sure you guys are subscribing and liking to Let's Talk Broncos. And Zach has a thing to say real quick.
Yeah, sorry, Joey. Thursday night, we will have our own post-game show too. I've got JP Acosta from SB Nation as seen on ESPN and NFL Network, all sorts of outlets. Got a big guest, big national guest to come in and give his takes on how bad the Broncos are compared to the rest of the league. Do they have a good shot at the tank? Well, I don't know. That's what I'm going to be asking.
Cool. Yeah, code Let's Ride. Do you have that disclaimer again? I don't know if we ever flashed it.
Yeah, I do.
Make sure for legal purposes.
1 second. Boom. There's the disclaimer.
Go. There's the disclaimer. You have been disclaimed.
You got to be 18.
There you go. Signing out, guys.